Here is an example that we can solve using what we have learned, such as modus tollens, modus ponens, and others to solve the problem. You are about to leave for school in the morning and discover that you don't have your glasses. You know the following statements are true. So these are our things that we know. If, number one, if my glasses are on the kitchen table, then I saw them at breakfast. So this just says if we meet this condition, my glasses are on the kitchen table, then I should have seen them at breakfast. But we don't know if the glasses are on the kitchen table or not. We can use symbols to simplify the situation. So let's call this one a P. My glasses are on the kitchen table. That's our P, simple statement P. I saw my glasses at breakfast. Let's call it Q. Now the second statement, I was reading the newspaper in the living room, or I was reading the newspaper in the kitchen. So there are two statements here. The first statement, what we saw, was a conditional statement, number one. Number two, here is or, so it's a disjunction. Now let's make this, I was reading the newspaper in the living room as our R, statement R. And the other one, I was reading the newspaper in the kitchen, call this one S. Now the third statement, if I was reading the newspaper in the living room, then my glasses are on the coffee table. So I was reading the newspaper in the living room. We don't have to use a new symbol because we already have it in statement 2. So this is the same as R. And my glasses are on the coffee table. This is a new one because what we have before, P, was on the kitchen table. So let's call this a T. Number 4, I did not see my glasses at breakfast. We don't need to make this number 4 a new one either because we have statement Q here. And right here, that's I saw them at breakfast. So I did not see them at breakfast. That would be the negation of Q. Okay, and next, number 5. If I was reading my book in bed, and this is a news statement. So let's call this one U. Then my glasses are on the bed table, and that's also a new statement, simple statement. Let's call it a V. Number 6. If I was reading the newspaper in the kitchen, which is the same as the S that in the second statement. So let's make this one S. Then my glasses are on the kitchen table. That would be P, the first one. Okay, so now we symbolize all these statements. So the first one, the first statement will be P implying Q. So we simply symbolize each statement here. The first statement, if P, then Q. The second statement, R or S. The third statement, if R, then T. The fourth statement, negation of Q. The fifth statement, if mu, then V. Number 6, it's also a conditional statement, if S, then P. So now we look at all these statements we have, and we try to find a solution and try to find where my glasses are. Now, step 1, let's look at the, well, we notice that the first statement and the, let's mark them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, number 1 and number 4 and number 6, they all involve the statements P or statements of Q. So if we look at the first and the fourth, so we can use the argument to because we know that's one of the premises we have, if P then Q. And we also know negation of Q. Therefore, by Models tolems, which is also like a control positive statement, if we know negation of Q, we must have negation of P, because we know that a statement is logically equivalent to its control positive. But this whole argument, we call it Models. Let me mark it here by Models tolems. Okay, well, let's do second step, step 2. Because we also know that statement 6, so we use the statement 1 and statement 4, and we got this conclusion, negation of P. Well, if we translate it back to the statement, because P means my glasses are on the kitchen table, negation of P means that my glasses are not on the kitchen table. Now, if we continue this by using number 6 here, because number 6, S, if S then P. But we know we use the conclusion we got from step 1, negation of P. Therefore, we can get negation of S. The same reason by Models tolems. Now let's do step 3. So we used those 3 statements, 1, 4, 6, to get the conclusion negation of P and negation of S. Now let's look at the other 3 statements, 2, 3, and 5. Now negation of S, so let's see which one involves S. That is number 2. It has S in here. And so we have R or S, negation of S. Again, we use the conclusion from step 2. And well, remember, R or S means at least one of these should occur. If S does not occur, therefore R must occur. Well, this is also called elimination, because if you can eliminate, because we know one of these 2 cases, at least one of these 2 cases must occur. If we can eliminate S, that tells us R must occur. So this is by elimination. Now step 4. Now, so we use the only statements we haven't used are number 3 and number 5. And apparently, number 3 is related to R. So let's use number 3, R to T. If R, then T. So let's mark this out. And we have, again, we use the conclusion we got from step 3, R. Therefore, we get T. This is Models tolems. So this is by Models tolems. Well, Models tolems pretty much means if you meet the condition, the conclusion must occur. So we do meet the conclusion, the hypothesis or condition R. So the conclusion T must occur. Well, so we actually, if we look at what T means, T, my glasses are on the coffee table. So we already found the solution. Therefore, T, that means my glasses are on the coffee table. So we've already found out where my glasses are. So you can stop there. As you can see, we didn't even use statement 5 in this case. Okay, so this is how we use symbols to kind of simplify the problem. And so even you don't look at the original statements, you can just pretty much use the symbols and use what we learned, Models tolems, Models ponens, or elimination, disjunction, conjunction, and we can find out the conclusion. But if you don't use symbols, you may still be able to get the same conclusion. So it's just like every time you write down your argument, you have to use sentences instead of just those symbols. So for example, step 1, what you have to say is, well, by statement 1, if my glasses are on the kitchen table, then I saw them at breakfast. And then we use number 4 because I did not see them at breakfast. We get the conclusion that my glasses are not on the kitchen table. Okay, so you can pretty much use all the sentences instead of symbols to find the same conclusion. But as you can see, the symbols could simplify the writing a lot.